Hi everyone. Hi Nadine.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today for our online class on how to plate up. Really happy to see you guys here. And so I know the world is in a little bit of chaos right now, or has been, because depending on when you're watching that video, hope everyone is doing okay. Hope everyone is still safe and healthy. Um, so yeah, today, to start with, super grateful for the weather. It's quite nice outside, sunshine. Just wanted to share with you a little bit of gratitude before we start our How to Plate Up event tonight. And so here, tonight we'll provide you tools to help improve your immune system, to help the PMS, the PCOS, depression, blood pressure, and even if you are gluten intolerant or if you're celiac, all of your condition can be supported by whole food, actually real food. The difference we could make with this event is that to share our knowledge about different food and food combining, and then see how it is possible to help our bodies and mind to be balanced. Uh, Sometimes, we just like to complicate things, and when it's actually super simple. So at the end of this event, I'll share a little bit more details with you guys on how you can simply start with the basics and empower our women. But right now, let's move into the part of today's class. If you have any questions during our class today, please pop them in the chat box. We might even ask you to answer some questions. So I would just love to interact with you during this event today. If you're still a little bit confused on what you're actually joining, it's a simple nutrition concept. And what we'll do today is share with you this really simple methodology that will teach you on how to fill your body with really great nutrition, and so that you can be the healthiest and the most energized version of yourself. Who agree who agrees with me that in today's age, we struggle with our health? Who here has experiment a little bit struggle? Okay. Um, so yeah, so do do you or we ever go into the shop and not really knowing what we should buy or what's actually good for you? Sometimes, yeah, I think so, right? Um, so what we'll teach you today is that eating seasonally and shop at the farmers market um, is much better for you, right? But I know like both of these can be hard at times, but honestly, bear with me. We teach to choose organic if it's possible. We teach you to look at nutrient load, not at the calorie load. Example, if you take like an avocado versus a cheeseburger, uh, for calorie loads, the avocado will have much more calories than the cheeseburger. But which one is the best for you? Avocado, right? So that's about it. Um, but before we get into the methodology and what you can expect from today's online class, I'd like to share just a little bit of my background with you guys and why I'm so passionate about holistic and preventative health. So here we go. I'm 28 years old, and a couple of years ago, I started feeling a little bit dizzy. I was always on balance. I was feeling miserable. Most days I was bloated, and I know I was not eating right, and that was causing a lot of inflammation in my gut. I didn't know what was going on with me, but I knew that something was wrong. So I didn't know how to deal with it either. So I turned to my family doctor, and after taking some blood tests, she concluded that I had a vitamin B12 deficiency, as well as not fueling my body with a healthy, balanced diet. Um, so that explains what was causing the dizziness and the low energy phases I had. My health was not in a good state, and nor was I. So my doctor suggests that I increase my intake in good quality fats. But at the time, with the knowledge I had, I was like, what the heck is good quality fats and where can I get some? So after I did a couple of researches, I found that omegas were a form of good fats. Um, but the supplement we know in the pharmacies today are fish capsules, right? So the idea of me buying those smelly jelly capsule fish just made me want to throw up. So after running those blood tests, my friend and I went for coffee, and then we just shared our complication, especially mine. But then she suddenly told me that I could participate in a trial. And so I would be a tester for plant-based omegas. And I couldn't believe her. I was just so excited. I was so curious. I didn't know like where she was all that time. So I did the trial, and I didn't have anything to lose at that point, so why not? I also increased my intake in whole foods. I got back to regular training, yoga sessions, and a month after starting on the vegan omega capsules, I went back for extra blood tests to see if anything had happened. And believe it or not, my deficiency in vitamin B12 was gone. My gut health is making a lot of progress, also as my cooking skills. I was able to take my life quality back. My sleep quality has increased. I've always had a low case of acne, but this is also 98% gone. Um, and next month, I'm also planning to stop taking birth control. Don't worry, guys, I don't want babies. That's not the plan. But actually, I just want my hormones to balance themselves naturally and give my body the love it deserves. Because it's been over 14 years that I've been taking those protection pills full of nonsense ingredient. And so I think it's about time for me to heal myself outside as much as inside. And so when I finally realized that what was going on with my body and how these simple adjustments had changed me, I just knew I had to share it with the world. And so now I'm a personal trainer. I'm studying in sports sciences, and I'm also a holistic wellness coach for the Health Style Emporium. And I am now creating a dream to a holistic lifestyle. Um, so yeah, and it's through the Install Emporium that I've learned about this beautiful concept that we will be sharing with you today. So the How to Plate Up methodology was created. I just want to talk about that a little bit before I pass it on to Nadine. So it was created about one of our nutrition coaches inside the HSC. Her name is Natalie Baldock, and this is the story on how it was born. It was about 7 years ago. Natalie went to a pharmacy, and then she asked the pharmacist the following question: would you show me what the healthiest supplements are so that I can be the healthiest I can be? Um, what do you think were the three things he pointed her towards? I'd just like for you guys to pop them in the chat box. What do you think? Um, so yeah, okay. multivitamin, immune health for the immune health. There's fish oil, yes, for the nervous system and the heart health. Pre-probiotic for digestive health. All right, okay, awesome. So yeah, so at this moment, Natalie asked herself, how do I eat this? How do I eat this every day in every meal? So that I can have a really well supported immune system, nervous system, and digestive system. And so after that realization, she created a set of ingredients that were meant to support those three systems. That was the start of the How to Plate Up methodology. Now, this methodology is being taught around the world, and we have partnered up with a global company that is available in over 20 countries around the world, which has sorry, which has enabled us to get this simple methodology in front of so many people who has been looking at how to eat properly without having to necessarily follow a vegan, vegetarian, paleo, keto diet, but instead eat what feels good for them and nourishes their body, mind, and soul. Uh, what about what do I love about this methodology is that it's plant-based. It teaches people how to add lots of plants into their no. So yeah, so it teaches people on how to add a lot of plants into their plates, and then add some high quality protein and high quality fats into the mix. And this is what we will be sharing with you today. Everyone that has joined us today will also receive our mini ebook around this concept. It has some entry-level recipes that will teach you how to follow the methodology. And so make sure to connect to the person who invited you along today to get your free copy. So we also have a 120-day program that dives into this methodology with more deep. We are a business that teaches you how to create a healthy habits. We teach you how to eat well, but we also teach you how to meditate, to drink water, exercise in a way that feels good for you, and we teach you about community. So, okay, so we also share some information with you in regards to this 120-day program. Some of you might feel like now is the good time to dive into your health and really get yourself to that peak state. Others will just love this little online class and the mini book. Whichever you are, guys, we love you either way. But so now I'll pass it on to Nadine. She can dive deeper into the How to Plate Up methodology and share more with you on how we can feed our main systems through a healthy diet.
Cool. Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
And thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm really excited to share this with you all. Before I get into it, I'd just like to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm originally from Australia, but I've been living in Canada for the last 4 years or so. And I got into working winter seasons between Australia and BC, and I went back and forth for a number of years. And then I would travel in between seasons, and I absolutely loved it. But I finally got to a stage where I was on my last Canadian visa and I wanted to make the most out of it. I also, by that point, wanted to settle down a bit and spend more than 6 months at a time in the one place. And as much as I enjoyed actually having a summer, making new friends and staying put, I actually found myself in a bit of a rut. So I found myself being sad, being bored and restless, even though I was living and still am living in an incredible place with so much to offer. I just didn't really understand why I felt like that. And this has actually been a reoccurring feeling for me over the years, as well, as I haven't been able to travel as much as I like, or I haven't achieved what I wanted or what I had envisioned by this point in my life. And then in terms of physical health, I've always been a pretty active and healthy person, always involved in different sports growing up. But working the seasonal winter lifestyle definitely wasn't very healthy for a long time. And I'd go through phases of hitting the gym every day, but then eating like crap because I was too busy or too lazy, and vice versa. So I'd eat all right, but then I would never work out. And I've always also hated the gym. I never know what I'm doing at the gym. I never know what equipment to use or how it works. And then in 2018, I injured my knee pretty bad. I tore my ACL and it hit me really hard. I'd never had a serious injury before, and I was obviously devastated. But it was actually a really great opportunity to slow down and kind of start again. And it was a real kick in the butt. And this is when my friend introduced me to the Health Style Emporium. And the program really helped in my recovery, not just physically with the workout guides and the yoga videos and everything, but more so with the mental health side of things. So, the educational webinars, the self-love resources, gratitude and manifestation challenges. And I had a lot of time on my hands at that point, and so I was able to really dive into these things. And it reignited some old dreams and allowed me to create some new goals. And it helped me to work myself out of that rut of not having, achieved as much as I wanted to. And so with all this focus on my knee rehab, that led to working on my eating habits and overall health. And so now I'm also a holistic wellness coach with the Health Style Emporium alongside Jen. And I'm absolutely loving learning about holistic nutrition and how to nourish our bodies from the inside out. Nutrition is something that I've always been interested in, but I've never really looked into it or educated myself as much as I would have liked until now. And I believe this kind of information should be available to everyone. And that's why I'm really excited to share this. So I'm going to get started. The How to Plate Up method is something that we've recently learnt about through the Health Style Emporium, as Jen already mentioned. It's a really simple concept and it's easy to follow, and it focuses on 3 systems of health, which I'll get into in a second. So today we'll talk about how we eat and how we supplement in order to nourish these 3 systems. So basically it comes down to this: the quality of our cells equals the quality of our life. And the quality of our life is determined by the nutrients that our body gets, which is ultimately determined by what is on our plates. It's actually really simple when you break it down like that. And so, as I mentioned before, this methodology is based on 3 systems of health. So number 1, your nervous system needs to be supported by good quality fats. Number 2, your digestive system needs to be supported by pre and probiotics with protein. And number 3, your immune system needs to be supported by plants. So a plate needs to contain certain food groups to help with effective digestion, nervous health, and immune function. So when we plate up the right way, we feel an improved energy within the body. And the philosophy is that when we eat a combination of fruits and veggies with protein-rich foods and good fats in each and every meal, a synergy between these bodily systems occurs and we feel balanced, energized, and ultimately happier within ourselves. And I just want to remind you guys, we're not talking about a diet here. As Jen mentioned, this isn't, for vegetarians or for paleo or whatever. There is no kind of restrictions. We're just talking about food combining. So we're just keeping it simple. And most people, according to stats from Australia, but I feel like this shows similar results to people in North America, having lived in both places. Most people eat 30% plants and 60% animal proteins and processed foods. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on my little plate example here. So you can see small amount of plants and lots of processed foods. And processed foods are also things like dairy and wheat, sugary foods, anything that comes in a packet, basically. And we've all been there, really. I've been there. I sometimes still eat in this way as well. It's important not to beat ourselves up about that. But Jen and I are here to empower you to turn this around using a really easy to remember formula. So the How to Plate Up methodology is based on combining 30% protein-rich foods with pre and probiotics, 60% plant-based carbohydrates, and 10% good quality fats. So again, I've got my other plate here. So you can see the 60% plant-based carbohydrates. We've got the 30% proteins, which are with the pre and probiotics, and then the 10% healthy fats as well. And so the 60% plants, we want 60% plants because the enzymes from the plants help to break down the protein. And then the 10% healthy fats help deliver all the nutrients to the systems. So all these systems and nutrients are working together in synergy with each other. So this can be as simple as eating a steak with a big salad and a dressing, or a smoothie with a protein base and lots of plants and some fat, or even as simple as celery sticks with peanut butter as a snack. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. We can just keep it simple. Excuse me. And if we don't feed these three systems, the digestive, the nervous, and the immune systems, we don't feel energetic or balanced. So for example, if we just eat fat, then we feel sick. If we just eat protein, then we feel heavy. And if we just eat plants, we feel hungry. All right, so as Jen mentioned earlier, sorry, I don't know where that came from. This concept has been created by a nutritionist and signed off by a naturopath. So we haven't just made this up ourselves. We just really want to share this with you as we want you to know how not just to survive, but actually thrive, especially at this time in the world. But just remember, what we're teaching you, like I said, is a guide. Not every meal needs to fit this perfectly. We want to remember the 80-20 rule. So that's 80% of the time eating well and following this method, and then 20% of the time eating what we feel like, maybe having a naughty snack. So I personally used to have no idea about nutrition, and even though I was interested in learning more, I just never really did. So I carried on thinking that I was eating healthy, but actually I was restraining myself, or I was worried about calories or carbs, even when I was eating my fruit and veg. Or, you know, sometimes I was even worried about the amount of sugar in fruit. And that's actually a really huge myth as well. Not all sugar is bad, but I think that's a topic for another day. So I'll move on. So it's important to remember that nutrition is only one part of the wellness puzzle. Of course, we still need to be exercising, drinking lots of water, resting, etc. But as a society, I find that we are overfed and undernourished. We are overworked and underrested, and that actually affects all of our core systems. So I'm not sure if you realize, but choosing to nourish your body is actually a form of self-respect and love. And another thing that I really love is this saying, your DNA is not your destiny, your plate is. So let's dive deeper into it. Are you guys ready to learn more about our three main systems? Whoop, whoop. Alrighty, so as I already mentioned, the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our cells. And so to get our cells working, we need to add nutrients in a way that our body can use them and absorb them. Otherwise, our body just doesn't function properly. So I'll start by looking at the immune system. So our immune system is activated by bacteria in the air. We all know people who are always sick. That actually used to be me. But now I know that my immune system is working properly and it can fight off the bacteria. So if your cells have become unhealthy through poor diet or maybe through poor lifestyle choices, your immune system gets activated because it needs to get rid of those unhealthy cells and repair them. And so you want your immune system to kick into gear if germs are around, but if it's already exhausted from the day-to-day repairing of unhealthy cells, then that's when we get sick. And basically we need more nutrients. And we get these nutrients from the plant-based carbohydrates, otherwise known as fruit and veggies. And chronic inflammatory diseases are the greatest threat these days, and a lot of these can actually be prevented. I'm just quickly going to touch on oxidative stress. I'm not sure if anyone knows what this is. I'd love for you to pop your answers in the chat box if you know, or a little hands up. Oxidative stress is basically a simple way to think of it is like when you cut an apple in half and then you leave it out and it turns brown pretty quick, right? That is oxidative stress. And the same thing happens to us when we breathe. But if we eat mainly plant-based foods, it actually helps us combat this. And so the more nutrients we have in our cells, the stronger and healthier they are, and also our immune system. And so the less likely it is that we will get sick, get an infection, or have a chronic disease. All right. And I'm just going to bring up our, I'm going to share my screen with you. Sorry, I'm not as organized. Would you mind pausing the recording? All right, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen with you guys. I have this cool little shopping list that'll show you a little bit more about what foods I'm talking about here. Okay, so I think you can all see that. So you can see here in the middle, we've got our 60% plant-based carbohydrates. And like I said, it's fruit and veg, basically. So we're thinking about organic fruit and veg that are in season, cruciferous greens, root vegetables, onions, including leek and garlic as well is really good for you. Grasses like wheatgrass and barley grass, herbs, roots like ginger and turmeric, sprouts, and superfoods like chia seeds, cacao, and goji, and inca berries. So those things are really good. I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to move on to the nervous system. So Jen already did touch on this as well beforehand. We really need omega fatty acids for our nervous system. So if our nervous system isn't healthy, it's because it's not lubricated or protected. Your nervous system is your brain sending messages to your body, and you want these messages to be sent and received instantly. So you can think about this like a smartphone. You're sending messages to your friends and they're able to receive them instantly. And this is what your brain is doing with your body constantly every single day. So if those messages aren't sent and received instantly, this is actually where we can start having mental health issues and aren't feeling well. You can also think of your nervous system as a great highway. So your central nervous system is the brain, and then the peripheral nervous system is the rest of your body. And mental health issues could be anything from anxiety to depression, mood swings, irritability, brain fog, memory issues, being easily stressed, and even things like MS, Alzheimer's, and dementia are all related to the nervous system as well. And I have some other stats here that are also from Australia. So 1 in 3 people over the age of 85 have Alzheimer's, and 1 in 2 people experience mental health challenges in their lives. And those are huge statistics. That really shocks me. And I'm not sure if you know, but we don't actually produce omega fats ourselves. So we actually need to get them through food or through supplements. Jen spoke about this before as well. When we think of omega fats or healthy fats, we think of fish oils. But actually, where do fish get them from? They get them from algae, right? So there are a number of other sources that we can get omega fats from as well. And I'm going to share my screen again and show you that shopping list. It'll give you a good idea. Share screen. Here we go. Oh, can I make this bigger? Here we go. So we've got our 10% good fats on the side here. So it's also things like coconut yogurt, cold pressed coconut oil, avocado and avocado oil, hemp seed oil, flax seeds and flaxseed oil, olives and cold pressed organic extra virgin olive oil, sesame seeds and sesame seed oil, macadamia oil, almond oil. So there's quite a few different nuts and oils from those nuts that give us those good fats. And then also ghee, duck fat, and butter. The thing with butter, you just want to make sure it's coming from a good source, and you know, basically if it's from a cow, you know what that cow is being fed. So we just want to think of organic things as well. All right. And so we're going to move on to the digestive system. Last but not least, our gut actually is so complex that it has its own ecosystem, which is pretty crazy. It needs 3 things to thrive. So it needs prebiotics, probiotics, and protein. I'm not sure if anyone knows what pre and probiotics actually are. Prebiotics are live bacteria that help break down the food and absorb the nutrients. Oh, sorry, that's probiotics. Got it wrong. Probiotics are live bacteria that help break down the food and absorb the nutrients. And prebiotics, they feed that good bacteria and they ensure that they're healthy. Okay, so probiotics can come from fermented foods, so things like sauerkraut, kombucha, kimchi, and yogurt. And we don't need to eat this in every single meal. Don't worry, you don't have to have sauerkraut with everything. And then prebiotics come from the fiber in fruits and veggies. So you can actually think of this like a garden. So where the prebiotics are the water and fertilizer, and the probiotics are the seeds. And so you need both of those to make a garden grow. You can even think of it like where the probiotics are a little army inside your body, and in order for the army to be stronger, they need a diverse amount of fiber from fruit and veg. So protein is also needed to build and repair your body. Proteins are made of amino acids, and we need these for repair and building. They also help us feel satiated or full, but we need to make sure that our protein is high quality. So again, we just want to be mindful of what our food is being fed. And I'm not here to tell you not to eat meat, but we just suggest that you find out where your meat is coming from and to make sure it is organic. And so other good sources of protein, other than good quality meats, are things like nuts, seeds, grains, fish, tempeh, and tofu. And so I think everyone knows someone with digestive issues, right? I'm sure we all do, if it's not ourselves. You know, someone who's always bloated or cramped, farts a lot even. These are all signs and symptoms that the gut actually needs some love. And so if we've helped our immune system and our cells, then that by default actually helps our digestive system. Our feel-good hormones like serotonin are also predominantly produced in the gut. And obviously you want the gut to produce a lot of it so that you feel happy. Does anyone else know this? Did anyone else realize this? I found this out not so long ago. It's pretty crazy. And on a similar note to that, 70% of our immune system is in the gut. Okay, so we really want our gut to be happy and healthy. I'm going to show you the shopping list one last time. I know I did go over some of those things, those foods already, but I'll just show you again so you have a visual. All right, so we in the purple there, we have our 30% protein. So it's, again, things like nuts, so almonds, Brazil nuts, pecans, etc. Seeds like pumpkin, sunflower, hemp, chia seeds. Grains like quinoa, buckwheat, spelt, and amaranth. Deep sea fish, so that's tuna and salmon. Oily fish like sardines and herring. This actually comes from Australia, so you can see on the screen there in the middle, game meat such as duck and kangaroo. Kangaroo is actually a really good lean meat. Again, grass-fed meat, organic meat from a reputable supplier, tempeh and tofu, cheese, homemade yogurt and kefir, legumes, and of course eggs as well. All right, so I'm just going to stop my share for a second there. And I am going to pass this back to Jen. and she's going to talk to us about our supplement well section for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that simple methodology with us. Guys, honestly, who was mind blown in here? Like, who just hit a wall like I just did? Okay. Well, that's why Nadine and I are so excited about this, guys, and we're excited about that simple methodology. And I just want to ask you, like, how would that be if we implement that into our daily lives? How great would that be? How great would we feel? Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, I knew. Okay. So this way of eating will really improve our health. And if you use high quality supplements on top of this, it will really bring your cells to a new level of health. Because let's be honest here, we don't always eat perfect. Sometimes we're in a rush and we forget to meal prep, and then other times we just crave a little naughtiness. Chocolate. I'm talking for myself. I just love chocolate so much. And then let's not forget that our food is often isn't what it used to be, right? Like, so going to the farmers market, eating local, seasonal, organic product, it isn't always possible. And so this is why it's so important to supplement well, because our body do deserve to get the best possible nutrients into its body every day, not every second day. You need to remember also that this methodology was born when Natalie went to the pharmacy to ask about supplements. I'm not going to go on and on about why I believe it's important to supplement. Instead, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about our partner company and its products. So inside the Health Style Emporium, we have decided to link arms with a nutraceutical company called Juice Plus. And so we've got the products here with me. Ta-da! Love these. And so yeah, I have the product here, and I'd like to share just a little bit about them with you today. I won't go into the details, but if you're curious to learn more about them, I'm going to be super happy to share some extra resources with you. Or you could either let me know in the comment section or just connect with the person who invited you along today, okay? So first off, I'm going to talk about our hero product. So we call it the Premium Blend. And these capsules are concentrated with fruits, berries, and veggies in a capsules. They're picked at peak ripeness. They are turned into a big smoothie and then dehydrated at a low temperature so that the enzymes that they all stay intact and they don't oxidize, like Nadine mentioned before with the apple. Because of this process, they are 100% bioavailable, meaning that when you take them, they are released into your bloodstream straight away. These little capsules here, they're a better alternative to the store but multivitamin that Nat was recommended in the pharmacy, because they're different to the multivitamin. Your body can usually absorb all of these micronutrients, and so you don't end up with a disco wee, if anyone know what that is. So when you take all of these three capsules, you get over 33 varieties, fruits, veggies, and berries into your diet every single day. And no, they do not replace the real stuff, you know. They do not replace a meal. They do not replace real raspberries or anything. They just here to have our back. They're here to bridge the gap so we don't have to worry about it too much. I know that I have my 5 favorite fruit, veggies, and berries, like between 5 and 7, I'd say. And then I tend to buy them over and over. I certainly don't tend to buy that big of a variety, you know, like, unfortunately, I can't. So the cool thing is that if you decide to either get the premium capsules or even just the fruit and veg, today you get to participate in the world's largest population study and sponsor a child on the kids' product for free. The kid could be your own, it could be a significant child in your life, your nephew, your niece, it doesn't matter. And the company tracks the differences that these kids note since starting on the product. So some of the results are kids are experiencing less sick days. They take less over-counter drugs. They crave more real food and they drink way more water. Pretty awesome, isn't it? So that's just a couple of statistics. I'm just mind blown, really. If you want some extra support for your immune system, let's be honest, we could all probably use a little bit of help in this department. And then, so I'd really recommend you checking out these little products. And then, so that was those little guys here. And now I'm gonna go to the vegan omega oils that I was talking earlier before, and then Nadine mentioned that for our nervous system and health care. So remember Nat, that was recommended the fish oil to support her nervous system and the brain and health of the heart, as well as Nadine said before. The fish get the omegas from the algae, so we've just skipped that middleman and gone straight to the source, the algae, and then we've added some other awesome oils in there, and then we are left with this unique blend of omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. If you want to keep that beautiful system, nervous system of yours lubricated and that the message can travel quickly, then I would really recommend checking out those incredible products that changed my life. Last but not the least, our complete shake powder. I have a vanilla one right now. This is plant-based, vegan, gluten-free, non-dairy, non-GMO, fat-free, cholesterol-free. This is crazy, crazy good. This is just delicious. I don't have the chocolate ones anymore. I ate it all. So here's the vanilla one, but we have chocolate as well. So they're not your ordinary protein powders. They're a high-grade plant-based, like I said, with a low GI index, meaning that the energy gets released slowly. So it has a pre and a probiotic blend and is the perfect mix of carbs, protein, and fats. So as you can probably already tell, it will perfectly support your digestive health, and they just taste delicious, like I mentioned before. Me and Nadine did that earlier this year, but we're gonna do it again today. We're actually gonna offer 5 or 10 packs, simple packs, for you guys of the protein shakes, either vanilla or chocolate. So just connect with the person who invited you today and then see if it's possible for you to get your hands on one of these. but we also offer them in bulk orders. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us or pop them in the chat box. If you're at all curious to see what these products have done for others just like you, then we have an incredible little preview group on Facebook with lots of clients testimonials. So again, please connect with the person who invited you along today to get access to the platform. I'm going to pass it back again to Nadine now. She'll talk about the final component of this methodology and how to live well.
Cool. Thanks, Jen. That was great. All right, everyone. I just quickly want to touch base on a few things that we can add into our daily lives that can really help with our overall health and well-being. So breath work to start with, or meditation. There's some really awesome apps out there offering all sorts of guided meditations and breathing techniques, and even just a few minutes per day can really make a difference to clear your mind and bring you back into the present moment. Water, we should be drinking 2 to 3 liters of water per day, and this obviously helps keep you hydrated, but it also flushes out any toxins in the body. Vitamin D, we want to be getting outside into the sunshine. Vitamin D is a really good immune booster. But if we're not able to get outside because of work, if we work in an office or something, or if you live in a place like Revelstoke in the winter, like I do, then you don't see a lot of sunshine. And maybe in that case, a supplement could work. You just want to make sure it's of a high quality. Exercise. So we all know exercising regularly helps our overall health and wellness. We want to try and do at least 30 minutes of exercise several times per week, if not every day. But you want to make sure that it's something that you actually enjoy doing. So exercise should never be a punishment. So if you like running, then go for a run. But if you don't like running, then don't. Do something else. Find something that you enjoy, and so you can go out there and move your body. Conscious relationships. So we are the average of the 5 people that we hang out with the most. I'm not sure if you've heard that saying before. So I just want you to think about the people that you spend the most of your time with. So we want to, if we need to create boundaries, that's okay. It might be necessary, or maybe stop hanging out with friends who constantly drag you down or drain your energy or who are negative. You want to be spending your time with people who inspire you and empower you, who support you and encourage you. Earthing or grounding. So grounding yourself and spending time outside with your bare feet on the earth. So no socks or shoes, no concrete, just your bare feet on the earth helps us reconnect with nature and feel more at peace. Finding something that you're passionate in or something you're passionate about. So if you haven't found something yet, have a think about that, put some energy into that, and then spend time doing it or maybe working towards that goal. Gratitude. So being grateful for even the small things in our life brings us back into the present moment. So maybe, starting a gratitude journal and writing down a few things that you're grateful for every morning when you wake up, or 5 things that happen during your day that you are grateful for, and you can write that down before you go to bed at night. I guarantee that this will bring a calmness to your mind and put a smile on your face. Sleep is another thing as well that we can't forget about. It's really, really important that you're getting enough rest, as it allows our body to repair and rebuild, and then obviously lets our minds turn off. And there are so many other things that I could talk about as well here. Things like manifestation, goal setting, yoga, the amazing benefits that I've personally found through yoga. Self-love practices, vision boards, and even moon tracking, which is something that I find super interesting. These are all things that really helped me personally with my injury recovery, like I mentioned earlier. Mindset and mental health wasn't something that I'd really worked on before, and I found it really difficult when I hurt my knee, as I wasn't really able to do much physically. So I was at home a lot on my own, for quite a long time. And so this is where the Health Style Emporium became really valuable for me, and it's why I'm now so passionate about it and why I want to share it with everyone. because it's not just about eating well and exercising, it's about living well overall, you know, and mental health plays a huge role in that, obviously. So there are some really amazing resources within the Health Style Emporium online portal, which I can actually quickly show with you now. I'm just going to share my screen again. Just bear with me for one sec while I figure it out. Here we go. So this is the Health Style Emporium members portal. You can see on the side here, there's a whole bunch of different resources. So I'm just quickly going to go through it. I'm not going to go through everything. You can see here, we've got our mindset and spirituality section. So self-love challenge, like I mentioned, gratitude, manifestation. Got a bunch of different guided meditations, which are really awesome. We have our movement section, stretch guide, yoga challenge, 6-week exercise guide, which I have found to be really awesome as it tells me exactly what I should be doing in the gym every day. And that's been super helpful. We've even got a 30-day yoga retreat in there. And I really love, under the recorded webinars here, I really love this section. There's some amazing webinars in here from the past few years from all sorts of different wellness coaches inside the HSE, as well as health professionals as well. So anything from, you know, balancing your hormones to food, mood and cellulite, to moon tracking, you know, meal planning. So there's lots of nutrition content on there, but there's also a lot of other things as well. So yeah, I'm going to stop sharing. And I think that's it for me. I hope this helped you tonight. If there is anything else that you want to know, or if you have any questions at all, just reach out to myself or to Jen, whoever invited you here today. And I'm going to pass it back to Jen now, and she can wrap everything up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nadine. That was awesome. Thanks guys for joining us tonight. This was actually the second time that we've done this presentation online. And being honest with you, I felt way more confident tonight than the first time we did it. We had some laughs, we had some, you know, but everything went so well. I'm so happy, and I'm just so grateful to have such an amazing turnout. So thank you again. And then I know that we're going through some challenging times right now, but I know it's hard, and I know it's hard to take it off our minds sometimes, but I really appreciate you taking the time tonight to for yourself, and then to educate yourself. And so, last thing, as I promised at the beginning, I wanted to connect today's online class to empower a woman. And so there's 4 ways to do that, guys, and for you to get involved in there. So the first one is option number 1, our mission is to inspire healthy living around the globe, right? So if today's class was inspiring for you, and then wanted to make you take charge of your health, then you can place an order with one of our coaches or ambassadors, or actually one of us who invited you tonight, me and Nadine, inside the Health Style Emporium for our Whole Foods capsules that I've talked before. There are 37 peer-reviewed scientific studies on these products, including 2 studies that show that they boost the immune system. So I think that during this time, the society needed the most. They need us. Option number 2, you can place an order for yourself and sponsor a child to receive our free Whole Foods fruit and vegetable chews. As I mentioned earlier, you can choose your children, or you can choose any children. That is your neighbor's kids or your nephew, your niece, the one you'd like to give it for free. Option number 3, for every person who decides to go that little bit extra and join our team as an ambassador with the Health Style Emporium, you'll receive a coaching and mentoring to reach your goals and become a part of an incredible global community of inspired and empowered women. And option number 4, you can help us share our mission by sharing our post, or do a post yourself, or just do the post of your friend who is part of the InStyle Emporium. Just share that on your page as public, and then share with your network to connect with them if they'd like to be part of our movement, if that's something that resonates with them, or if you know someone who could benefit from our program or products. So please, once again, refer them to the person who invited you today. If you guys remember, we talked about a little mini ebook. So everyone that participated today will receive their ebook. Just make sure that you connect with the person that tagged you along today. So once again, guys, thank you so much for being here, and let's talk soon, and let's chat. So I hope you have a good night. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.